My name is Dr. Daniel Tuitoek, the MP Mogotio constituency. I'd like to make a few statements concerning yesterday's repeat elections in Mogotio constituency. First of all, I'd like to thank the voters of Mogotio for coming out to participate in this event, in spite of the fact that this repeat was not official. Initially, we had elections last week when EDA had general elections everywhere on 14th of April, which proceeded smoothly until the stage at which counting was done. And at the end of counting, when it was about the results was to be issued, one candidate objected and started causing a lot of chaos in the room, and even mobilizing others from outside to come and interfere with the elections. So, and finally, the boxes and the results were thrashed, or other people just actually thrashed those. We were not able to read, the elections were not able to be completed in an amicable way. So the event was stopped. And later, the returning officer then consulted the National Election Board of UDA, and they said until the time there was a dispute, the results were almost clear. We had actually led by 250 votes. And the only box which was remaining was one station called Kaberge. This station had a maximum of 61 votes. But from our agents, only 28 had voted. So even if they had been excluded, there was no problem with the overall result. So Mr. Gibarek, who was one of the candidates, objected to saying there was biasness, and he caused a lot of commotion and a lot of violence in the room, inviting even more non-participants from outside. Eventually, the process was stopped. So when it was referred to the National Election Board, they had of the view that substantially the process was done the first time, and the results was to stand. So they actually asked their road to forward everything to the National Election Board through the county returning officer, which was done. Eventually, they made the decision that we be given the certificates. So I was given a certificate for the Member of Parliament, National Assembly, to represent Mogotio. Was nominated to represent UDA in August elections. So that was on Thursday. So it was only on Sunday night, about 3 or 4 days later, that through the social media, I heard of that a schedule has been given for repeat elections. I'd like to emphasize that there's a procedure for repeat elections, which involves somebody filing an appeal to the election board and maybe tribunal to listen to the case. I'd like to say this was not done. And they actually came out with the schedule for repeat election on a Thursday, 21st. And so basically on Monday, I had to either make a decision, either to accept to participate or to reject the participation. So in respect to the party, hoping that things will go smoothly, we agreed to participate, which may have been a wrong idea in the first place, because we should have actually not participated. Now, during the repeat election, first of all, things were very slow. The election day, in some parts of Mogotio ward, the election started at midday. They were late, the election started on midday, and many voters did not have an opportunity to vote. 2, as the voting went on during the day, we started receiving that in some areas there were serious malpractices. One special, a few examples I can give you is like in Sore polling station. Our agents said about 141 people voted. But towards the end, when they were about to start the process of counting, they chased away our agents and locked the door. And they actually watched through the window, and these guys were cutting there, were actually trying to complete, because the Sore has got 276. But those who had voted was 141. So they started trying to fill in those who didn't turn up. And he said he tried to intervene, and the soldier even told him he will actually shoot him if he actually continued trying to enter the room. So when they had actually cut the votes, they were allowed in, but no damage had been done. Actually, they informed us. So I had actually tried to send somebody to go and see what was going on there. So one of the serious malpractice was introducing votes. Increasing votes for people who didn't vote. Number two, there was also another malpractice at Pombo Station. From what we learned from there were 126 voters who voted in that station. And when they counted, they found 130 votes. So they went back to the register. And look at the register, it was 126. So the votes which had been given out for voting were 126. The register was 126. So they wondered how to deal with these extra 4 votes. So they went back to the stamps, where you cut there. They looked at the stamps, they found 126. So because now 126 was tying the stamps, the remaining parts of the were 126, the register was 126. They also know they only gave out 126. So they had to look at the serial numbers for these votes. And they found 4 of them don't belong to that particular. They could not tally with the stamps. The serial numbers, the stamps, could not agree with at least 4 of them. So votes were introduced to this polling station. And we suspect a lot of votes were introduced yesterday. Over 2,000. Suspected over 2,000 votes were introduced in various polling stations. So this process was not free and fair to everybody. The integrity was very low. So I know the party was trying to meet the deadlines for UDA. For IBC. That today is 22nd is the last day in which parties should finish primaries. So making sure that we did it on the last day almost was one way in which the party also was unfair. So I see the party has been unfair to us because one, they never conducted a formal hearing for Mogotio case. If somebody had an issue, we should have formally done it and we should have been invited, like the other constituencies were invited to be heard. So I want to say Mogotio was unheard. If there was a dispute for the first one, we were never invited, or we were never formally invited to hear the case. Number two, there was a lot of interference from outsiders who are non-residents of Mogotio. We had some politicians from other regions who actually tried very hard to make sure that they interfered in these elections in Mogotio. Even the fixing of the repeat election suspected it was done by outsiders. So I'd like to tell the party that we are aggrieved and we are not happy about the way this has gone. We are trying to think of how we can actually communicate with the party that this process has not been fair, free, and to be seen to be transparent as it's supposed to be. Because of that, I'd like to tell the people of Mogotio, thank you for participating, but that's not the last word you'll hear from me. I'd like to talk to my supporters. I'll be talking to them on the way forward. I'll first of all talk to the party to see whether they can do anything about the way this has gone, which I say this was not fair. From the first part of repeating it without our being allowed to be heard, and the lots of malpractices which took place, including the delayed voting, which almost took half the day in some parts. And because of that, I'll be proceeding to the UDA National Election Board to explain the case, how it is, and I'll get back to my supporters. I'd like to tell my supporters we will be making a decision on the way forward by Monday. By Monday, we'll let you know how we shall proceed in this matter, because we are generally aggrieved. We feel our first victory, the first victory we were given on the first day, and we were given the certificate. I know my competitor, Wanenkiborek, alleged that there was theft, alleged that kura yake iliibwa. My surprise is when we made a repeat, we almost got similar results. So where was the theft? If there was theft, then we should have not got the same votes we got on the second what. So it looks like there wasn't such kind of thing. We also know that there may have been malpractices, but more or less, whatever votes we were given is what we were given the second time. Because we got about 9,700. Even this time we got 9,000, about 9,000, close to 700. So I want to dispute the fact that somebody went saying his votes were stolen, and caused a lot of people. Maybe even what he got is a sympathy vote. Because some may have felt that it was actually just changed. But given that I got what I got, it looks like there wasn't such thing like that. So, because of the way the party handled this matter, I'll be contacting my supporters on the way forward. And by Monday, we will give them direction on what to do next.
Even as you say that you'll give directions on Monday, there is a legal timelines which everyone has to meet.
Yes.
Like you've said, it is true that by midnight tonight, parties must have submitted their nominees.
No, not tonight, not the nominees. They will have concluded. They should have concluded the dispute mechanisms.
So that
but
means...
but 28 is the day they're supposed to submit the names to the IBC for gazettement.
So clearly there is no other nomination exercise that's going to happen.
Looks like, so, but I have also a certificate which was genuinely procured through this election. So if they felt that there was a malpractice on this one, why can they not allow mine to continue? Yes, continue.
So in case the party does not resolve, is independent one of the options you're pursuing?
All options are on the table. All options are on the table because what I'll talk to my supporters. My supporters, if they're ready to stand with me, then we go back to them. We go back to talk to them. We have no dispute with the party in terms of their votes for the president. I want to say the deputy president, his votes we support this candidate. Whatever come what may, we don't have a problem with him so much. Because personally, I'm a member of his party, and even we moved from Jubilee, we moved together to UDA. It's only that the way they managed our process, I'm aggrieved. And therefore my voters, my supporters have a right to decide whether they want to participate in the August election or they want to just make another decision. So I want to say all options are on the table. Yeah.
Mheshimiwa, you've talked about interference from outsiders, other politicians from other regions.
Yes.
This may indicate that the UDA party maybe is being interfered. Do you have confidence this time around your issues will be addressed by a party which is compromised, maybe?
No, already the party has indicated that they are not handling us fairly. How would you reschedule an election, a repeat election, without hearing the other side? If one person goes and makes his case and they repeat the elections without asking the others to bring their case, isn't that not being unfair? So the party should have really given us a hearing. But there's a strong feeling that there were particular interested parties who are not necessarily Mogotians. They come from other areas. These are politicians from other areas who are the ones who are actually pushing for a repeat of election for the interest of one person. So I want to say that the party should look at it because people made noise. Our people made noise. On the same, I'm not to say it. And the same people have been interfering in other constituencies. You go to Nandi Hills, Yomutu. You go to Wapi. So it is not really fair that you go on interfering with other people. Even if it's your friend, just allow the process to continue.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Asante sana.
Yes. So I think anybody with any other question? So
no, I think we've exhausted our questions.
Reactions? Yeah?
Reaction part from 193.
You can actually ask them now. You can talk to them now.
Yes.
Well, these are my supporters, of course.
So 3.
Let us do either 2 men, 1 woman, or 2 women, 1 man.
Yes, Lugu.
No, I didn't finish.
Oh, okay.
I didn't finish. Therefore, the side said we are going to give direction. I want to say categorically, I reject the results which was declared by this returning officer, that doesn't reflect the will of the voters. This one, I want to state clearly that it does not reflect the will of the voters of Mogotio, and we are going to give the way forward on Monday to our supporters.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa.
Na kweli tunahuzunika sana kwa kura ile ilifanywa kuendeshwa katika njia ile sawa. Tumeona maoutsider wamekuja hapa, wametufuruga kama wapigaji kura, wamejaribu kututongoza, kutumwagia paka pesa, kutubadilisha roho zetu. Kuna mwenzangu hapa alipatiwa shilingi 10,000 akiambiwa atoke kwa kampi ya watu kutoka outsider. Hapa kuna Sudi walikuwa hapa Mogotio. Wamefunika namba plate zao za gari kutoka nje, wanakuja kutubadilisha akili zetu ambazo sisi tunajua haki zetu za Mogotio. Mtu wa nje alikuja kutuambia ukweli. Na mheshimiwa Kiboreka amekuwa akitudanganya sana hapa na vijana. Amekuja anapatia vijana mawe, analia vijana pombe na bangi ili vijana waanze kupiga makelele kusema kura imeibiwa. Tuliona mheshimiwa tofauti ya kura ambayo imepigwa hii ya jana na ile ilipita mbeleni. Tofauti ni kidogo. Sasa wanashindwa kura iliibiwa upande gani? Kama ikikuwa na uwizi wa kura wanasema kura iliongezeka, basi tungeona tofauti jana itoe dhibitisho kwanza kura iliibiwa. Lakini hakuna ushahidi yote kuonesha kura iliibiwa. Mheshimiwa alipata certificate katika njia nzuri, tulimpokea, Mogotio limpokea. Sisi ni wakazi tunajua Mogotio na tunajua mheshimiwa wetu gani mzuri. Sasa ama outsider kutoka nje na Sudi na grupu zake, watajuaje shida zetu za Mogotio? Aenda bambana kwake huko, watu wa kwake huko ang'ang'ana hapa. Sisi awachane sisi na mheshimiwa wetu tujichague. Na vijana, naomba vijana wa Mogotio na popote mahali wako, wasikubali kudanganywa na pombe na miraa. Viongozi wapatie vijana kazi, vijana wana shida ya kazi. Vijana wana shida boda wanasumbuliwa. Waache viongozi kupatia vijana pombe na bangi na mawe. Vijana badala ya kupewa mawe wapewe kazi. Vijana badala ya kupewa mawe wapewe loan wafanye mabiashara. Tunaomba hao viongozi wenye kupatia vijana pombe na kuharibu mkutano wetu. Mogotio tujaifanya fujo maisha zetu zote. Tumepiga kura mingi sana Mogotio. Sisi leo tunafananishwa kwa tear gas na mawe kwa sababu ya viongozi ambao hawajali vijana, wanajali kwa kuwapatia pombe. Ni hayo tu.
Asante sana. Kwa pili.
Mama moja.
Kwa majina naitwa Salima Kimeto. Mimi ningependa kushukuru wakazi wa Mogotio. Kweli sisi wote tulijitokeza kabisa. Tulipiga kura kabisa vizuri kabisa. Tunaona turning out inakuja tu vizuri kila mahali. Saa kidogo tunasikia ati daktari alikuwa juu. Vizuri kabisa. Saa kidogo tunasikia kura imekuja hivi yote. Na kwanza kura inakuja hivi, zinakuja nasikia mtu amefunga kura. Sasa kwanza hapa ni yangu hivi. Nataki iguzwe ati hii ni yake, ati hapa hii. Na hiyo vijana vingine yote hiyo unaona sisi tunajua ile sisi certificate yenye tulipata ya kwanza hiyo tulipita kabisa vizuri. Hata hii tulipita kabisa. Hii huyu Kiboreka najua. Na hakuna Kiboreka mali atatuongoza. Sisi Kiboreka sisi kama mama ya Mogotio. Sisi tuwezi kubali Kiboreka bado hajitoshea kabisa. Hawezi toshea kutuongoza kabisa.
Mmoja wa mwisho.
Mimi nataka kusema hivi. From the beginning, chama ya UDA haikuheshimu mheshimiwa. Haikumheshimu licha ya yeye kusimama na chama muda hiyo yote. Baada ya Kiboreka kupeleka complaint, hata ile 100,000 ya kuappeal hakulipa. Na wakaoverturn hiyo vitu yote bila hearing. Everywhere wamefanya hearing, mbona hawajafanya ya Mogotio? That means hawana heshima na mheshimiwa. So mheshimiwa akitake any direction, iko sawa. Na mheshimiwa wako na wafuasi wale walisimama na yeye. Aliposimama 2007 akaanguka, alibaki na watu yake. Tukaenda 2013 akabaki na watu wake. So watu wako, ako na watu. Yeah. So mheshimiwa chama wajue hawa ndio wamekosa kwa sababu ya kukosa heshima na mheshimiwa. Oh, sorry.
Hakuna jiongea hapo jikose kati.
Okay, kwa majina naitwa Jimtol. Mimi ni mkaaji wa Mogotio na mimi ni member wa chama cha UDA. Kitu chenye ningependa kusema, tumejipata kwa UDA kwa sababu ya zile injustices tulifanyiwa pale kwa Jubilee ambapo kuna watu wali hijack chama na wakataka ku-own chama na kufanya ikae private property. Hiyo kitu ndio ilifanya kiongozi wetu William Samoei Ruto akatutafutia chama yetu na nyumba yetu ambayo tulikuwa tunataka ikuwe na usawa na ukweli. Hiyo ndio reason mbona tulitoka Jubilee. Tumekuja kwa UDA tukiwa na imani kwamba demokrasia yetu na uwazi itaweza kutimizwa katika chama chetu cha UDA. Inatuuma sana sisi kama wana UDA kufika kwa chama ile ambayo tulikuwa tumeamini kwa kabisa, ikiongozwa na Daktari William Samoei Arap Ruto. Tulikuwa tumeamini ya kwamba hii chama itatupatia nafasi ambapo wananchi ndio watakuwa wanaamua kiongozi wao ambaye atawawakilisha katika ile general elections. Tumekuja kuona hii chama yetu ya UDA ni kama imekuja pia kuwa na wale watu ambao wanaona they are more important than others in this party. Na ni tungependa sana William Samoei Arap Ruto apeane uongozi kwa sababu this will cost the party. Sisi tunajua party structures, waliunda tribunal. Hiyo tribunal ilikuwa ya kazi gani? Kama nomination imefanya, mtu amepewa certificate and then somebody else comes behind the door and then wana order re-elections, tunaona circular. They have not communicated to mheshimiwa officially, they have not called the parties for an explanation, and they have not offered any explanation as to why we are going back to the ballot. So what they are doing, we are not saying it was wrong if they decided for us to go back to the elections, but the right procedures have been followed. It would have been okay. But right now, we don't even know the reasons why we went back to this election for the second time. So what we are saying is, and personally me, I'm on record saying, we want to be in UDA, and we love Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto, and we wanted to be in the party. But if these are the injustices that we are going to see in the party, how do we remain in the party, and yet the party members who have been fighting for UDA, the key members who founded the party like Dr. Tuitoek, are being treated like this within the party? If a person like Dr. Tuitoek is treated like this, what about mere people like us? We believed in UDA, and we knew that UDA is a party that's going to support a common person so that he can rise from the bottom up. But from the way we are seeing this, we've seen cartels have hijacked the party already. So what we are requesting is, Dr. Tuitoek has given the party benefit of doubt because of the beliefs they have in and because of the time and resources he has spent in the party. So he's giving the party a benefit of doubt. But for us as supporters, I think we are hurt. Hurt not that because we've lost, because we don't know if we've lost or not. We have the certificate, and another certificate was given yesterday. We don't have an explanation. We've seen people celebrating from outside, the ones who are running these Mogotio nominations as a project. And we feel our right as voters has not been heard. We went to the ballot, we casted. The tallying process was frauded. We don't even know who conducted the elections because the presiding officers that we had and the clerk, some of them dropped along the way. We don't even know who did the officiating of the polls. So what we want to say as supporters of Dr. Tuitoek, without looking at the party, we are with Dr. Tuitoek, and he's the one who is going to give us directions. And we will not take directions from any other person as Dr. Tuitoek supporters apart from Dr. Tuitoek. And by saying this, our loyalty has not shifted from His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto. We are behind His Excellency Honorable William Arap Ruto because we believe in him. But the party with which we wanted to vie for, clearly, we are not being given that opportunity. So, to me, because I've not heard from my leader, Dr. Tuitoek, I'll be waiting for him to give directions. But my advice to Mheshimiwa Dr. Daniel Tuitoek, I don't see our space in UDA. I want us to try somewhere else where we can get a fair chance. When we are defeated, we will accept and concede and say we've moved on. We've been defeated on a fair platform. And if we win, we will ask those people to support us and continue with the good work Dr. Tuitoek is doing. We believe in Dr. Tuitoek and we believe in Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto. We are supporting Dr. Ruto for presidency come August, and we are supporting Tuitoek in whichever direction he's going to give. But I hope Dr. Tuitoek will be in the ballot and we will be given a chance to elect our leader as Mogotio constituency. Thank you.
Anyone communicated to you that your certificate has been revoked after the other one was issued?
No.
Just
Actually, as far as I'm concerned, I've got no communication from the headquarters.
so your certificate as it is still valid. And
As far as I'm concerned, first of all, they never communicated to me when they were doing a repeat. So the repeat may be fraudulent, but we only in the name of the respect of the party we participated. But hopefully they look for it some solution.
Thank you. Asante sana.